Recorded live on location at the Generation X Comics and Games Studio, it's Trade Paper Hacks, episode 44, with your hosts, Mark and Alex.
Thank you, Announcer Boy.
Yeah, back to Announcer Boy. I'm glad.
Got rid of Announcer Lad, right?
No,
last
Announcer
week?
Lad, yeah.
Did you know Announcer Boy got his start in voice acting as McGruff the Crime Dog? Take a bite out of crime.
Take a bite out of crime.
Take a bite out of crime. You're listening and watching Trade Paper Hacks. My name is Alex Lee. I'm joined by my co-patriot in comic books, Mark Thompson.
Hello.
Mark the Knowledge Thompson, if we're still doing the goofy nicknames.
Oh, we're definitely doing those.
Sweet.
Shut up.
You've been calling me Tech Booth for almost a year.
Shut up, Tech Booth.
We're doing the
Shut up, Tech Booth. We have not introduced you yet. Because we're coming to you live from Generation X Comics and Game Studios over here in beautiful Bedford, Texas.
Southeast corner of Harwood and 121.
Directly underneath this week's lunar eclipse.
Yeah, it's like their moon's like gone and stuff. I don't feel any special about it.
Well, first it was like real big, and then it
God,
was
stop
like
talking.
gone.
Stop talking until we introduce you.
Oh yeah.
Stop it.
You're throwing off his moves over there.
You're right.
throwing off his ability.
I'm sorry, dude. Get back on the game. You're good.
Poor preparation over there ain't got it going on.
I didn't give myself a nickname. Do you want to go ahead and do the nickname thing?
yeah,
Say it, Call. What's my nickname now?
The preparation.
Alex,
the preparation
the
Lee.
Preparation Lee.
It's actually ironic. Okay, so sitting on the other side of the table who will not shut up,
Hi.
Jason Dyer himself, Tech Booth.
That's nasty.
Say hi, Tech Booth.
Hi, Tech Booth.
God, I wish I had a soundboard drop that would say, "You're not shutting up. Stop talking. Stop it. Stop talking."
So you just made it now.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
That's gonna happen next week, right?
Well, yeah, pull that out of the audio. We have it on. We have it. We're recording. It's there.
It's forever on the computers until we the file. Oh, sorry. There's your first censor of the night.
Thanks, friend. Thanks.
Yeah. Don't you usually take care of that yourself over there?
Yeah,
We
the
forgot
first up of the night.
Wait, I thought you were all prepared for this, man.
There's
the
joke.
preparation.
All right, we are not alone. As you could probably hear, there's a high-pitched laugh on the audio that is not mine.
Yeah, it's Baby Tech Booth is not here.
Nope.
Baby Tech Booth is not here. And we're actually joined by, of all things, a lady.
I don't know that I would call myself a lady.
Okay.
I prefer not to be referred to in four-letter words.
Oh, sick burn.
Sorry, we tried to walk the gender identification line here. This iPad's going to be out of battery by the time we're done here. We're joined by Teah Libris.
Yay!
Who I've decided to call our bookworm badass.
Bookworm badass.
Bookworm badass.
That
There
sounds
we
like
go.
it comes with its own shotgun.
What?
If you're gonna buy come on, man. You go down the toy aisle, you see that on the shelf, it better have a shotgun. Bookworm
Just because
badass.
it has badass
That's
hook
it.
to it doesn't mean
BA,
it's a
bro.
shotgun.
BA equals 12 gauge. That I don't even
That's not how any of this works.
I'm gonna tone it down now. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Announcer Boy. Jesus. All right, so hi Teah, how are you?
I'm fabulous. How are you this evening?
Welcome to this nightmare that we call a show.
Thank you.
This is your nightmare, isn't it?
Every week. Every week it's like walking into another, what am I doing with my life scenario? So, I have no idea. Why are you here? Why did we bring her in?
I like books a lot.
Well, we like books, but we
That's-
like books typically with pictures attached to them
And panels and cells.
and panels, because honestly, I don't know how to read that goods.
Oh, they have an app for that now.
Do they now? But what I understand is that you are our go-to for books without pictures. We can
go with that.
We'll
just
see
to
how
say-
this goes. Okay, yeah.
On a trial
may be getting a
basis,
little
it's
ahead of
trial thing,
myself.
Yeah.
She's done the comics before. She knows comics.
Actually, truth be told, books brought me, or what directly brought me into comic books. And I can't claim a particularly large knowledge base for comic books, but it was my love for the Dark Tower series and the Dark Tower books that got me into comic books because
Right on.
Because of the Dark Tower comics, they provided story that you didn't get in the books, and I desperately, if I'm anything, I'm a story junkie.
Right on.
And so I was like, oh, I've got to know what happens. I don't care what format it comes in. If it's in, B-rated porn, I'll watch it. That's fine if I get the
Just
story.
where is the story?
Wait,
I like how, time out of all that sentence, like, It doesn't even have to be good porn.
Exactly. If it's got the story, that's all that matters. And so
I'm sorry, have you seen B-rated porn? Story is not
Are you telling
in the
me
table of
that
contents.
the truth is not that cable guys would come over and give me?
No, that's not. I mean,
Yeah, all
maybe.
right. All right.
I don't want to get too deep into the.
Phrasing.
There's the bell. It's been so long. I don't want to get too into the deep dark tower.
Wow, we just found the episode name. We just found the episode name.
Dark Tower.
Into the deep dark tower with Alex Preparation Lee.
The dark tower.
I don't want to get into the dark tower quite yet. I want to hold that off till the second segment. I want to get to know a little bit more about you. So, if you are into comic books at all, you say you have a very shallow knowledge of it.
do,
It's okay.
yeah.
You're not too deep into it. It's a pool reference. What kind of comic books entertain you?
Well, I got in for the Dark Tower books, and those are what sustained me. And then I found out that there are a great many comic books out there that are pulled directly from novels, and that's where I started. And so I actually have a bunch of the Dark Tower comic books. I have The Stand. I have they did some really cool like kids comic books for the Wizard of Oz that I started collecting. Then as I was exploring those, I found other things that I was already in love with, like the Firefly comic books and Galaxy Quest. And X-Files. So
Right on.
I sort of lost my mind there, and again, it's not like traditional comic books. I really don't know much in the way of like superheroes and what have you not, but
Sure.
It's a little unfair. I'm not saying it's unfair that you're not into superhero comics, which I totally get. I don't know how we're going to relate to you now. No.
And it's not that I'm not into them. It's just that that's not anything I've ever explored.
It's a perfect example of there is more to comic books than superheroes.
Yes.
Right.
Bingo.
So much more.
And there's a whole nother way to this fandom than capes and tights.
Exactly, and which is actually you're kind of unique. I'm going to be honest, because capes and tights are what's popular right now and have been for the last 20 some odd years. What's unfair, though, what I was about to say, what's unfair is that there's not a lot of comics that get turned into books that are very good. Very rarely are you ever going to see a Batman story novelized and it not be for anybody over the age of 13.
You know,
I think that's. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I would think that would be because of like when you have a novel, it's easy to turn it into a comic book because the whole point of a novel is to get you thinking and you create images in your brain that illustrate what's happening. Whereas with a comic book, it's clearly provided to you the action and the format. So you're looking at the action, and it's harder to translate that back into words than it is to pull a picture out of 1,000 words. And I would think that would be why you see that more often.
If you ever want to read a great comic book novelization, just read an Alan Moore script. Mark got it.
Yeah,
Mark
I
got
got
it.
Because it's a really long script.
Oh
is that
my
what
God.
you're saying?
He writes
It's
it like
lengthy.
He writes it.
What? No, you're right.
Phrasing.
God,
Oh, is that what it was?
I need to get a phrasing drop.
Oh, that was over my head.
He writes it like a George R.R. Martin novel, like how descriptive and over-descriptive it could be.
I want to read a Grant Morrison script.
There's some of them out there, and his
they?
older stuff was a lot more tell you everything. But then he started finding artists that he could work with a little bit better, to where he didn't have to write it out as much. So by the time he got to all your major superhero comics we've been reading over the last 5-6 years, he's really kind of shied away from it. So writing huge scripts, they're still freaking ridiculous. And he doesn't explain anything, but
It's not Alan Moore level.
I have some
insanity.
questions.
okay.
Or a question, because I'm not going to ask you like 8 at once. And anyway,
He will.
I have done that
He's
before.
done-
Hold on a second. Hold on.
Okay. All right.
Stop talking over
I
the
need, I
drop.
need a brandy snifter so that I can answer this question.
Tech Booth has question.
Go ahead, Tech Booth.
What are some of your other favorite book series, or maybe authors or something like that? What are you into outside of the realm of Dark Tower as far as your books?
First and foremost, I would have to say Robin Hobb. She writes in a way that is kind of Stephen King-esque in the sense where she'll have a set of books, and generally speaking, she writes in trilogies, and you'll have a trilogy of where you follow a character through an arc, and they're very interesting, and then you'll have this other trilogy that's not directly related, but they take place in the same universe,
Okay.
and so you can and within the same 1 or 2 generations, and so you can clearly see like political and economic impacts that happen because of one story arc impacting another, and
That's cool.
It's very interesting to watch it unravel, I guess. I'm very wrapped up in her, and I've read it all, and just the way that she writes, I can keep going back, and it's very interesting.
Can you give us some like series titles on that?
Yes, Live Ship Traders is my favorite set. It's a trilogy of hers, and I hate to sort of gender place there, but generally speaking, that's more of a fan of girls. Because it's got a very, very strong, in fact, 3 very strong female leads for various parts of the story. There are very strong male characters in there as well, but it's kind of female centric. Please don't mistake that for romance or anything. Just you get a lot more of the emotions and the inner monologue for girls. She has several other series. 2 Assassins, the Fits and the Fool trilogy is, I think, what one of them is called. And then there's the Farseer trilogy, and their same sets of characters take place maybe 15 or so years after one another, and they're amazing. And the best part about all of it is that there's currently 5 trilogies, 4 that are completed, and 1 that's in the process, and they all tie in, and
That sounds massive.
it really is. It's very.
It's like the book version of Netflix binging almost, because you've got all these layers of things that tie together.
Oh, and it's so good. But she's not the only one. She's definitely my go-to. But I love Patrick Rothfuss. I read his Kingkiller Chronicles, and those are really good. Lev Grossman is what I'm reading right now. I'm finishing up the Magician series. The Magician's Land is what I just started this weekend.
So what's going on in that book? Because I know a lot of times titles and covers and all that stuff can give you some really misleading things. So actually, what do you think? Based on that title, Alex, what do you think that book is about?
Isn't that the pseudo autobiography of Penn and Teller? Is that not it? I thought
that would be like the Magic
wasn't it on
Tale,
Oprah's
I
list?
think.
Yeah, no,
I thought it was on Oprah's list.
that's called bull.
Oh yeah, there's a whole series about it.
There's your next one.
It's fine. It's Penn and Teller. You're allowed to say that.
It's actually the title of the show.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's if I had to describe it in any way, it would be Harry Potter for adults.
Wait, don't tell my wife that Harry Potter's not for adults.
No, and that's
Yeah, my wife either.
I'd read Harry Potter as an adult, and it's not saying that it's not for adults, but it contains much.
It's a little softer than something that would be for adults.
Exactly.
It's more adult themes.
It's definitely grittier. There are definitely some more adult themes in it, but it takes place also later in life. Like Harry Potter is your middle school through high school sort of years, whereas the Magicians, they're talking straight out of high school. It's more like a college setting, and it's and so it has more adult themes. There's I don't want to say a lot of sex because it doesn't get particularly.
Nice.
Gritty or anything, but sex is part of it, and it's a lot more of that sort of angsty feeling of I'm in college and I'm supposed to be doing something with my life, but I'm not really sure what that is. It's a different set of problems, more grown up problems, but still there's all sorts of magic woven into it. And if you read Chronicles of Narnia as a kid, it references back to that a lot. They can't, of course, like copyrights or whatever, they can't call it that. They call it fillery, but it's very clearly like referencing back to Narnia, and it pulls it in fabulous ways.
Right.
Now,
I really want to read that series now.
You really should. It's very good.
little known fact: there is plenty of adult Harry Potter writings out there. When I was doing research for our fan fiction story, came across a lot of Ron Harry stuff.
I thought that we were staying away from the B-level porn.
Yeah, we gotta bring it up a notch.
I'm pretty sure I said no promises.
So I want to chime in if just to help you out. Well, I don't know. It's a comic book suggestion based off of what you said regarding that universe that you're talking about. One that I could suggest to you is called "They're Not Like Us,"
I haven't heard
and
that.
it's like it's kind of gritty like that, more adult styled, but it's people coming into their power set and uniting with other people with power sets, but it's all the reality of dealing with your own identity versus other people's influence about you. And so it's kind of like if it was a Mean Girls version of the X-Men almost.
Okay.
And so
That's on TV now. It's called Heroes.
Nice. No,
That
okay,
show
but it's good.
sucks.
It's got some interesting art. It's got some decent storytelling. It has some of the tropes of capes and tights, but it has a lot of the grittiness that could probably hook somebody who's not a traditional cape and tights type.
I would be
not
interested in
trying to
that,
convert you, but I think it's a good read.
Oh,
He's trying to
and
convert
I read the saga that you
Oh,
suggested, and
how'd you like it?
oh my god, I have to have the next one. I'm really hoping at the end of this, you guys will like open up the cash register and let me buy the next one, like because I stayed up all night to see. Well, I stayed up for the Hugos. Are
Okay.
you familiar with the Hugos? I stayed up to watch that because this whole Sad Puppies mess this year. Are you familiar with that?
The sad puppies.
Sick Puppies, the
Rabid
Australian
Puppies.
rock band.
No, there is that, and there's also like something else. Never mind. So the Hugos are science fiction literary awards that happen every year, and it's fan based. If you have gone to, I don't know all the details, but it's something up to the effect if you've gone to one of 2 or 3 different conventions, then you have voting rights to vote on, and you can submit your own suggestions, but to vote on who's going to win this year's awards for literary, and they also have like movies and stuff like that in there, but. So this year, I guess people were not people, but this group, Sad Puppies, were unhappy with the slate, saying that science fiction is getting too liberal and it shouldn't be so open-minded. And I really don't know all the politics about it. I don't know.
Go ahead,
I
tell
could
you,
be
man. Only men could
misphrasing
go to the
this.
moon.
I could very clearly be misphrasing this, so please don't take me for gospel
Sure,
here.
sure.
But that's the impression that I got from the Reddit research I did on the topic.
We know
But,
how cool that Reddit
Donald
is.
Trump loves his sci-fi.
But I stayed up to watch the Hugos, and not only just because I wanted to see how that was going to play out, because there was a lot of drama about that, whether the slate that they submitted was going to win, because people went in and voted just. They
Like
inundated,
brigade almost?
they
Okay.
inundated the voting base, and so there was some question about the integrity of what
Okay.
was going to happen. But Saga was nominated for a Hugo this year, and I was like, oh yes,
That's
I
awesome.
hope they win. And they didn't, but
They
yeah.
win so many awards because they just won some other awards in the
Eisners?
comic industry.
Eisners?
Harvey's.
Harvey's?
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah,
I'm
but
really
they
glad
did
you
win
did that.
Eisner's too.
There's.
so.
I don't want to go into too long a rant, so we're running out of time for this
Yeah,
segment.
we got about 2 minutes left, guys.
I'm a firm believer that A, all award shows are political. That's true.
Yeah.
And B, there's too many award shows. We live in a YMCA. Everybody gets an award type of society.
Remind me to
and
tell
there
you
are
something.
too many award shows. And there's while we're at it, too many festivals, too many cons.
Are you saying that
Haterade.
you don't like it when people celebrate things? Because that's what I'm totally getting here. Like, oh,
Well, it's
let's
more
not
like-
celebrate things.
Should
you know.
okay, well, should we make up our own nerdy awards and just give them away to people that
Here's how much I believe that. If we got nominated at an award show, I wouldn't go.
really?
Really.
Oh, you'd be that douchebag.
Hey, you know what? I
Doesn't
have
make
his
me a
back on this.
douchebag.
I got his back.
I don't
on
want to
this.
support it.
I think-
I'll go represent.
Do it, bro.
I think that
Wait,
if,
is there money
somebody,
involved?
if somebody loves your work enough that they want to give you an award, regardless of whether it's a big name award that's been going on for 50 years or not, if somebody loves you enough that they want to say, hey, I love you, and here's some physical proof, I'll take it.
Dude, yeah, I'll get up on a stage and be like, yeah, see, I got
I'll
this
take your
trophy.
plastic. I'll take your plastic, Buddy Christ. Yeah,
Right,
man.
right,
Thanks.
yeah.
Thanks for
He
reading.
just
I don't
waved
know,
for those
I
at home
kinda-
who waved around a Buddy Christ
I
statue
can
like it
see
was an
Alex's
Oscar.
angle as well. I guess it would depend on the organization. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get off that topic because we can spend another 20 minutes.
Yes,
on it.
yes.
We gotta talk some Dark Tower stuff here in the next segment, so you're gonna stick around, Teah, and we will be right back.
All right.
Patient. And so